I am here with Isaac Boots today on the Friday Society. I am so excited to talk to him about everything from charity to Instagram trolls. Welcome to the show, Isaac.
They are not mutually exclusive. Hi. Thanks
I'm so happy to have you. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where you are right now and kind of how you're spending? You know what? Why don't you just tell us how you spent your day today? Because I feel like that's really good.
That's a Dickens moment. Today, I woke up very early. I actually didn't go out last night for Halloween because I worked Jill Martin out on the Today Show. So I was up at like 5 o'clock to get ready, and then worked my booty off. And I have back-to-back clients, so I've literally been working up until now. I just scarfed down some macrobiotic sushi, so I have some energy for you. Amazing. But it's good. It's good.
Good. So wow. Okay. So 5 a.m. It's now almost 4 o'clock. So you've been working 11 hours. Is that normal for you?
I'm a workaholic, yes. And look, it's a blessing. It really is. And I come from a very different world. I come from a very different existence. And so I count my blessings every day. And I have amazing clients, and I love what I do. And I'm really able to, I'm happy that I'm able to have people around me that not only support me and want me to do my best, but also help in our philanthropic efforts. We've ultimately raised over $1.5 million for No Kid Hungry.
Oh my gosh.
100,000 for various other charities and more, including the Children's Museum of East End, which supports 7 local charities. Everything from abuse prevention to food pantries to mental health, after school care, diapers, the Trevor Project, which helps with LGBTQ plus youth, and Baby to Baby. So it's things that I feel really passionate about. excuse me. I was a kid. I was a kid of want.
Yeah.
I grew up in food stamps, and so I can't.
I was gonna say, let's start there. Let's talk about your, from the beginning to obviously everybody. I think I'll say everybody. Yeah.
It's a very good place to start. I was on Broadway.
Oh, amazing. I was gonna say, I think everybody knows who you are, right? Like everybody knows who you are, and they know the energy.
I do have to say that it is kind of festive. Are you in New York City?
I am right now. I'm out east, but typically I'm in the city. Yeah.
But I'm back in the city at my place, and apparently I'm in everybody's taxi cabs, and so everyone's like texting me or DMing me videos of me like in my torched gear and like in my.
Oh, I love that.
In the cab. So
that's amazing. So yes, like you're a household name. You're a fitness household name right now, and obviously from where you started, I think life was probably very different. So walk us through kind of where you started and how your journey with fitness has evolved over the last decade.
Well, I grew up in Hawaii, in a very poor, staunchly conservative, very machismo upbringing, and which was really treacherous. But looking back, I learned so much, and it really created who I am, to the point where nothing is a roadblock to me.
I love that.
I feel like, of course, there are struggles and obstacles and seeming failures and disappointments, but nothing could be as treacherous as my childhood.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm good. I moved to New York with less than $40 on a one-way ticket the morning after high school graduation, nowhere to live. And I lived on my friend Matthew Tinker's dormitory floor, which I can see from my apartment now on 7th and Avenue B.
Get out.
Yeah, and I just auditioned every day, and I was fearless because I knew I couldn't stay there. So, and one thing I will say about my Dickensian childhood is that I did have one source of major light, and that was my grandmother. And she was amazing and really my first cheerleader. And I really experienced unconditional love. So I can never really complain about my childhood because of her. And also because of, I mean, I always say my grandma taught me love and my mother taught me drive. So it's all powerful and useful. I worked really hard. I was fearless. I was blindly ambitious. Fearlessly naive. I didn't know how to audition. I didn't know that you needed a headshot. I didn't know what an agent was. I didn't really even have proper dance training. I couldn't afford dance training. So up until I was like 16, I was just watching Madonna music videos over and over and over again and copying them and learning how to hitch kick and paddle turn and literally. And then it was sophomore year that there was an after school program in high school, and for it was jazz, and I delved into it and sort of escaped into it. And yeah, and I got into my head. I was like, okay, well, I need to make something out of my life. So, and I'm not particularly good at math. Grades certainly aren't great. Good luck. So I was like, well, I'm gonna dance. And what's the peak? And I knew that New York and Broadway was the pinnacle, for what I could do. And and it happened. And I danced on Broadway for nearly 12 years, nonstop with no break, which is rare.
Yeah.
I show hopped, and so I was in a lot of hits and fabulous shows, and everything from Mamma Mia to West Side Story at the Palace Theater, performed with Liza Minnelli at the Tony Awards, and really experienced some amazing things that still I look back on and I think, wow, that was dope. That was a very special experience. And from that, I started choreographing. I think Brooke Shields was my first. I choreographed her one-woman show at Feinstein's, and we got a fabulous review in the New York Times, so it was proper. And then from that, it was always word of mouth. So from that, I went into Hugh Jackman and doing something for him at Lincoln Center, and then I moved to LA with Ariana Grande and basically choreographed every music video and performance for a while, and experienced a lot of firsts. First Grammy Awards, first Billboard Awards, first European Music Awards, first time in Tokyo, first time experiencing press at a really high level. And of course, to work with her, I mean, she's in my opinion, she's the talent of this generation. Voice is everything. And she's gorgeous. But and I was training her as well. And I skipped something. I created Torch when I was in.
I was gonna say, you went from $40 to Ariana Grande. A lot happened.
I went from $40 to Ariana Grande. That took 13 years, but
right.
12 of them on Broadway. But I created Torch when I was in West Side Story. Okay. For me, because I didn't have time. I mean, I'm sure you know, but West Side Story is arguably the most challenging, I'm going to say dance show, but the most challenging show. Aside from the fact that it's actually the best musical ever written. Try to challenge me on that. It just is. It's a perfect script. It's perfect original choreography. It's Leonard Bernstein. It's like, please. And so I didn't have time to like go to the gym or you know, take all the classes I wanted to. So I created a flow that I knew I could do that would keep me snatched, keep me lean, keep me strong, but also I would be able to perform Jerome Robbins choreography on the Palace stage 8 times a week and not be debilitated. I can't run, it messes up my knees. I can't lift too heavy of a weight because it messes up my back. I have to lift girls. Like I have to like think of these things where I'm like jumping off a wall into a triple. Yeah. Like my knees have to feel supported and I have to kick and things. So I created something that ultimately works for everyone because who wants to be debilitated? You know? And you know, I started working with pop stars and actresses who have to perform at a high level. They have to look a certain way, but they also have to they use their body as a machine. So whether it's singing, dancing, performing, or hosting a morning show, you have to be on. And that really took off, and I was able to create a clientele from everyone from Gwyneth Paltrow to Lisa Rinna, Kelly Ripa, Vanessa Hudgens, you know, Priyanka Chopra, and a lot of amazing people in LA, New York, and the Hamptons. And I'd be flown out to Coachella to teach Torch, or Paris Fashion Week, or Art Basel. And they were all amazing experiences. And then COVID hit. And in classic Issac form, I'm a go-getter. Like I just I have this, I exhaust my friends.
Yeah, you got to get the energy out.
Exhaust them because I'm always on the go and always want to do something productive, or you know, like my friends don't come over and we just like watch a movie. Like I'm like
doing squats
and like board games, and like we're doing squats and like plank. Everyone's like, can we not? Like I'm tired. But I'm like, let's go for a 65-mile walk. No. And so I did one Instagram live. Do
you remember what date that was?
The New York Times talked about it. March. My boyfriend knows everything. Probably March 13th.
Okay, so like really early days.
Yeah, I mean, because I moved out to East Hampton with March 23rd. That was not the first one. It wasn't. Whatever. It was between March 13th and March 17th.
Okay.
And I moved out to my friend Steph DiTullio's house. Fabulous interior decorator and amazing, and one of my best friends. She's become family, and because as you remember, we thought this would be like a 2-week thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And the reason she had me out there because she knows that. Remember how I said I'm only really good at like dancing and working out?
Yeah.
It's literally true. I cannot cook. And that's not me being a diva. I literally can't. It's really sad.
That's surprising. I feel like you would be a really good cook.
I feel like I should be good at a lot of things. I'm really not. It's really sad. But she was like, you can't cook. You need to, like, you're gonna fall through a crack in the floor. So she's an amazing cook. So I was very happy about that. And I offered it once on my Instagram live, and there were probably like 80 people on. It wasn't about that though. There was no agenda. It was just like, I was like, let's like have a moment. And at the end of that live, someone wrote, "Thank you from Guatemala." Yes. And somewhere else. And I was like, this is cool. So it's like, well, we're, you know, tomorrow let's do it again. And I felt like 11 was good because I've been doing Zoom and FaceTime workouts for years.
Oh, really?
Hey, people in the industry used to scoff at me. Just saying.
Would you just do it for private clients?
We're all, oh yeah. They'd be like, that's not a workout. Like, how do you train someone on your iPhone, blah, blah, blah. Because I work with people who are either on set or
Right.
you know, filming a music video or traveling. And so I was used to doing it. So I was already working. I had a 6 a.m. client, 6, 7, 8, 9 a.m. clients. And then I was like, well, I have 10 to 12 free. And instead of, you know, taking a nap like a normal person, I was like, why don't we like go on?
Do more.
So I went on the next day, and it, you know, it grew like 100 people every day,
Wow.
including my clients. So you would have, you know, Lisa Rinna on there commenting, and Kelly Ripa, and you know, Christy Charlington, and frontline workers, and a 75-year-old grandmother in Tokyo, and a chef in Australia, and Lizzie Tish, and
Right.
Wendy Murdoch, and Aaron Lauder, and like,
Yeah.
really cool. Who was Keith Richards was on, by the
Get
way.
out.
I don't know if he was doing it, but I was really happy.
He was watching you at least.
I was like, I love you.
Oh my God.
And anyway, it was the mixture of it felt like, I think, the real personification of who I am, because it was, at the end of the day, I'm still that little boy from Hawaii on the wrong side of the tracks, you know, that you know, and I live a very different life now, and I you know, have been very, very blessed to weave in certain experiences that most people won't. It really felt like my worlds were colliding in a way that I've never experienced before. There was no hierarchy.
Yeah.
And, people were just like on the same level and excited and talking. And it was about a weekend, and I was like, okay, people were asking how they pay me. And I felt deeply uncomfortable accepting money for this because of the climate of the world, people losing jobs, people losing lives, people losing family members. It felt vulgar. And so I reached out to No Kid Hungry, a charity that I've always, you know, felt close to my heart, and asked them if they could create a direct link. If I encourage the people who are on my live to, in lieu of paying me, to donate whatever they can, if it was $5 even, it would go directly to them, and it would be used immediately, because schools had just shut down. And I knew that, oftentimes I relied on school lunch. So I was like, well, what happens to them? And my goal, really, my first goal was $1,000. Because I didn't know, you $1,000, that was $1 million to me as a kid. That's for damn sure. And within 24 hours, thanks to Vanessa Hudgens, actually, we went over $10,000 the first day, and I was like, damn. And then in a month and a half, we were over $200,000, and then it just became a thing where I was I started doing live like split screens with Lisa Rinna, who was in LA. She was the first one, and we raised like $40,000 in 45 minutes. And then Kelly raised $125,000.
Oh my God.
Kelly. And Vanessa Hudgens and Elizabeth Chambers, just like all my friends, all my people who have influence in some way without me begging them or or doing the whole Hollywood trade thing. It was just like people were like wanting to get into it and be there for the community and for these kids. And we hit the $1 million mark, over the $1 million mark, in six months, right before my birthday actually. So that was.
What was going through your head when you hit the $1 million mark?
I cried actually. Yeah.
Oh, I have the chills. This is just the most amazing story.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, I feel like, I think my favorite thing about you and just this story is that you're like, you think about something and you do it, right? Like there's no thought, there's right, exactly. It's immediate.
Which
and
my
I think that's
boyfriend
just
simultaneously loves and despises.
you need a balance. It's yin and yang. Everybody needs it. But I think my favorite thing is that you never stopped. Like you're still going live. It's November 1st.
It's not, nothing I do is a trend. I pull out. And if there's only 3 people on my live, I like doing it, and maybe they'll donate $50 and it's $50 more. You know what I mean?
But it's not 3 people. It's a lot, and they're still tuning in, and
but it's also not only that, is I've made friends with these people that I've never even met. Literally, like we have like inside jokes, and we're like laugh, and like it really feels like a weird family, like people all over the world. I mean, I was in the Hamptons, for the summer, and this lovely woman came up to me with a gorgeous South African accent, which I can't do and I won't try. The closest I can do is like a Madonna faux British accent, but she was like, Isaac Boots, I just have to tell you, I spent quarantine, like 8 months in South Africa, Cape Town, and she's like, you have a huge following there. We, like, all of us would text each other to show up on your live every day. She said,
oh my God,
you really sort of like, or it really helped with their mental health and made them closer, and she was like, and my husband is very happy because my ass looks amazing. That's what it's about. Okay. No,
I will say my ass has never in my life been more sore than when I take your class. I feel I've tried all of them, all the boutique fitness, all the everything. Never in my life have I not been able to walk as much as when I take your class. So if there's anything that should go on a tombstone, it should maybe be that.
Yes, I've heard that before. Yes.
So we're talking about Instagram friends. I do also want to talk about Instagram foes, because I think as much as social media is phenomenal, it also exposes a lot of people to be keyboard warriors and think they can just say whatever they want to, whether they're real people or, actual like bots, who knows. But I love your approach is whenever you post the pictures and you're just like, LOL at this person. I think that's amazing. But I know there are a lot of influencers and, celebrities that get a lot of bad messages that have a really hard time with it. So walk me through kind of how often it happens and kind of how you've gotten so great at allowing it to happen, like to roll off your shoulders.
It happens all day. It happens every day. I think I can't speak for anyone else, and everyone has their own threshold for negativity. Excuse me. And but I can only speak from my experience. And I've spent my life, particularly my childhood, not feeling safe, not only in my neighborhood or my school, but not even feeling safe at home. So I developed a really almost like warrior inner life from when I was 7 years old. I looked in the mirror and said, You're getting out of here the minute you can. Figure it out. Literally. And I set my mind on it. And ultimately, if someone calls you, short, fat, a fag, untalented, unqualified, whatever, maybe I am, but I'm doing great.
Yeah.
And I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm healthy. And I like what I do. And what's wrong with being short and fat and a fag?
Right? Do you ever respond to that?
Yeah, I am unqualified. Fine. I mean, there were better dancers who could have maybe done better than me in West Side Story, but they didn't get the goddamn job. Right. Sorry, I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Madonna's not the singer in the world at all, and she's the most successful one because she doesn't care.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
I love that.
She does what she wants, and I think that is I've never been affected by what people say, and I think because I was thrown so many horrible things that people who should have been guarding me or protecting me didn't, and so I learned early that you are alone, and that's not a bad thing. Actually, it can be a great thing.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost like you learned like you are your own savior.
You are. What are you gonna do? Like cry yourself to sleep because you don't look like Brad Pitt or Aya Gerber? Like, congrats, but like you're not them, and they're not you.
Yeah.
So
I love that. So do you respond to these people?
Oh, I respond absolutely. I love it. I'm a Scorpio, like a double Scorpio with a Leo moon. Just saying.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I will say I am pretty quick with my wit and my words. I've ferociously studied Betty Davis and Joan Crawford movies since I was a kid with my grandmother. So I feature it. I feature it because I don't want people to think that anyone's life is perfect. I'm not interested in the veneer of being shiny and Hollywood and successful. And I think that there are people, particularly young people, who are susceptible to bullying that aren't as strong as I am, that aren't as strong as I was. And I think if they see that everyone's getting it, I'm getting it, and it's not right, feature it. Yeah. It's a lie. And even if it isn't a lie, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah, and I think my replies usually are, they're not an attack on them. They're usually a question, or I agree. There was one where it was like a whole vitriolic thing, like kind of major. I posted it. It was like weird. It was like a Jane Austen novel about how vile I am and
oh my God.
And hideously unattractive.
Oh my God.
And living in the shadow of the celebrity clients that I have, and and quite a bit short. And after this whole long thing, I said, "You're absolutely right." They couldn't respond. What are they going to respond? Yeah. Like,
did they read your response? Was it seen?
Of course. And I'm sure they gagged, but okay, sure. Like, great.
Right. That's just such an amazing response, because they must, like, I just am envisioning, like, they've gotten all puffy chested and like, I'm going to say this thing and really work themselves up. And you were like,
You're
Yep.
absolutely right.
Right. Like what could deflate
And
someone
no
like that
emoji, like no
more?
sarcasm. Literally just like, you're absolutely right.
Oh my God. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
But
I
I
just,
mean, I think you're so right. Like social media can be so shiny. And I think it's so important to just say, like, this also happens. Like there are downsides. I experience it too.
I think another thing that helps me is my Kabbalah teacher, Ruth Rosenberg, taught me this years ago. And this really helps me without me even thinking about it because it's so embedded into my being now. And she said, you cannot believe the compliments without equally believing the criticisms or the hate. And I thought that was very interesting. And she explained why. She said, if you put weight into external praise, into approval, into how many likes, into how much money, into how much press, into how many people are showing up to your whatever, into your relevance. When that's gone, you're going to feel empty. And this is why people, succumb to drugs or whatever, like my father did. But you just have to be good in you. Be passionate about what you're doing. Always attach yourself to a purpose outside of yourself. We can get so self-involved and self-obsessed. Oh God, I have to lose five pounds. I have a pimple. I have this. I gotta. Yes, sure, but if you really attach it to what am I great at and how can this affect real positive change? I think that's the real answer. And that's been my answer with just sort of being constantly purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
not concerned about maintaining not concerned about competition or any of that because
Mm-hmm.
it's not real anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I love that so
It's
much.
true. It's like um, Mariah didn't need to compete with Whitney because they were both queens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They
It's so
both,
true.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
All right. So let's talk about, kind of queens and amazing people all around you. Let's talk about the Torched expansion. So when you opened up Torched shop in Wainscott, which is phenomenal,
have you
so
been?
amazing. I
Have you?
haven't been yet, but I'm dying to go. I'm super
Oh,
excited.
it's really special. It's really quite beautiful.
I'm super excited. So you have amazing vendors and amazing artists on display. And it seems to me like just an amazing little community spot for like everyone and your whole just brand ethos of like fun and energy and everyone's sort of
Well,
products
they're all my
within there.
friends. They're all my friends,
Yeah, exactly.
and
How did you come up with the idea for it?
happenstance.
Okay.
A space was open and we were supposed to do torch at the children's museum and there were some noise complaints with the neighbors being outside even though it's an amphitheater. Who knew? And I had already developed a great relationship with Fred Siegel because during the pandemic, um, I I don't want to misquote, but either like his daughters or like the CEO's family were doing Torched,
Okay.
and I did a talk shop live for them, and I sold more than they ever have, so they liked me, and and So this space opened up in Wayne Scott, and I just gathered all my people and called everyone, and literally like did it in 2 weeks. Marco Santini, who's an amazing artist friend, did a gorgeous mural in it, and Wayne Hollowell, who's one of my favorite artists, who's done beautiful pieces for me, did Grey Gardens art because I wanted to honor the Hamptons, and Brian Atwood and Lisa Rinna with her Rinna Beauty, and Fred Siegel, the first time they're on the East Coast in 60 years.
Oh my goodness.
And many people have tried to get them out here, obviously.
Wow.
And they're in my shop, and they have, curated a collection that is specific to the Torch Shop.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have Pride and Groom, and which, the organic, beautiful dog products, and Ramona Singer, and who's a dear friend, and OPG&Y, like really amazing pieces forever.
Yeah. Well, you have the Faye Dunaway print, which is like.
Faye Dunaway is a dear friend of mine.
Wow.
We've been training probably for 13 years now, but we've become family. And I was actually her date to the Oscars.
Oh, that's amazing.
An amazing experience, actually. It was very, very special being with someone from really, classic Hollywood. It's a different thing, very different thing, in a beautiful way. And anyway, we have an original print from the Terry O'Neill estate. Terry O'Neill was the legendary photographer and ex-husband of Faye. Side note. I
did not know that part of that whole photo shoot.
Hollywood. And it's cool because they're only in very specific galleries around the world. And so we have that there, and you can order yours through us. So it's kind of cool. And I always love aligning with friends and aligning with people that I believe in, people who are in my life, and lifting them up as I lift up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And I love so much there. So it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, when you're out in the Hamptons, it's in Wayne Scott. It's right there. No excuse not to go. We turned
the place into a club, and the cash register is the DJ booth, which is fun.
That's so fun.
Water, by the way.
I know. I'm drinking Recess. It looks like I'm drinking rosé, but it's not, for the record. But would still be fine. Exactly. If you are drinking and listening, who cares? All right. Final question. What is next for Torched?
I can't tell you.
Ooh.
No.
It's something fun.
Ultimately, I can't say, actually. I'll get into trouble. But we've created a really amazing community around the world. And there will be fabulous, exciting ways for us to connect even more excitedly. And there will be live experiences and a lot to look forward to. That is very exciting.
Amazing.
Truly. And I think the most sort of thrilling thing about it is, again, just aligning with people and brands that I admire, and continually making giving back a real priority. Even now, I'm still doing the live stream every day, as you know, but now the goal is, I started like a month ago. The new goal is yes, guys, I offer this class every day for free, and 1 day a week I'm going to do a fundraiser, and the goal is $5,000 each week for the Children's Museum. And that was just on a fluke, and we've already raised 30,000.
Wow.
So it's great, you know? It's like
That's amazing.
30K that wouldn't have been there. So
That's so amazing. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, are you ready for some rapid fire questions before we close out?
yes.
Okay. What is software that you cannot live without?
Like technology stuff.
Yeah.
Um, iPad.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
software.
Is that where you do your Instagram lives from an iPad?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Best business advice you ever got?
Trust no hoe.
I love it. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Moustique.
Ooh, love it. Advice you would give your younger self?
You're doing great, kid.
Love it. A dream job besides something that you're doing right now?
Um, hmm. Um, I would, oh, ew. I would, this is not really rapid fire, sorry.
It's okay.
I would love to, um, damn, I don't know. That's hard.
I say fighter pilot. I feel like being a fighter pilot would be really fun.
I don't want to do that. Okay. I know why this is like, I would love to be like, um, Guggenheim, like,
Ooh.
like, curate art and
Mm-hmm.
new artists
Mm-hmm.
and singers and poets and like, yeah, but like make
Okay.
Guggenheim sort of like a cafe in Paris in the 20s, you know, so it's sort of like
Ooh.
beautiful art and music and cigarettes and
That's a great answer.
vodka.
I love it. Okay. One lesson that you took from 2020 that you want to keep with you.
Ooh, one lesson:
Yeah.
never date a French man. Bye.
This is my favorite rapid fire ever. People are like, love your friends. Like, you're like, don't date the French.
Don't do it. You can have a festive weekend, but that's it, baby. Good luck. Because they've got 8 more.
Oh my God. All right. Last one. If you had to do it all over again, would you do anything differently?
Like my life.
This career torched the whole thing.
Mm. One thing. I'm not telling you. No, well, yes. It's, you know, those things are tough for me. That is a great question, though. But those things are tough for me because even the moments that are chaotic, or you know, where you feel like someone fucked you over, or whatever. At the end of the day, if that had not happened, other things wouldn't have that were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I wouldn't even met certain people if some of these horrible things hadn't happened. So
Yeah.
it's I think as long as you are, and I think ultimately I have, I think being authentic and a good person. It sounds so cliche, but just do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
or do the wrong thing out there. You know, like just don't be shady. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just
Yep.
say what you mean what you say.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
I think you can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, you know, there's always going to be controversy, and people will always. Not everyone's going to be your fan, but I think if you're ultimately a good person, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. That's a great place to leave it. Isaac, thank you so much. I am so excited we got to reconnect, and I appreciate your time.